Coming from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, this is Jock speaking. This is episode 3 of Two Monkeys on a Microphone. Welcome. I'm your host, Jock, as I said at the beginning. And Ethan, this is your cue.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our show. So Jacques, what do you have for us today?
Well, we thought that a nice topic for today would be food, partly because I'm hungry and I'm thinking about what I can be eating after this. So we're going to be talking about food. That's the topic, Ethan.
Sure, that's...
Like it or leave it? Oh, okay, it's good, it's good. Okay. Well, first thing, I think the easiest question to get out of the way is, what do you like, Ethan? What do you like
What
to
do
eat?
you like? It's kind of basic. So why don't we start with what food is like in Vietnam, and then you'll go about what food is like in Regina, and then we will talk about what stuff that we like.
Okay, we can go about it this way. Do you
Okay.
want me to start then? What food's like in good old Canada
Sure.
up here in the north?
Sure, go ahead, buddy.
Well, we have a lot of fast food joints.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Is it?
McDonald's, we have A&W,
Mm-hmm.
we have DQ, which used to be known as Dairy Queen.
Mm-hmm.
We have Five Guys, we have Fast Burger.
You guys have
Any
Five
kind
Guys?
of fast
Wow.
food. Yeah, we have Five Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Lots of people like to compare Fast Burger to Five Guys. It's
Mhm.
kind of like, oh no, Fat Burger to Five Guys. It's like the big rivalry between the two burger places.
Mm.
But we also have healthy options too. We have chopped leaf and we have Freshie. Those are two, healthy options.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Subway. I'm pretty sure Subway is kind of like international
Yeah, it's all over the
at
place.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have Subway in Vietnam?
They used to be here until 2018 or something. Don't quote me on that, but they've been here for about 10 years and it flopped, so
Okay.
they closed the chain here.
So according to the factual information of Ethan, Subway closed in 2018.
Factual.
Now, if you aren't feeling fast food, we also have restaurants. Usually it's Greek, Japanese, sometimes Chinese. We don't see too many Chinese restaurants around here. And of course, we have a lot of pizza joints. Triffon's Pizza, Boston Pizza, those kind of places too,
Mm-hmm.
if you like cheesy dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're not happy with fast food or restaurant food, you can always go grocery shopping.
Mm.
Most stores here have, like most big stores here, have a food aisle. Walmart has a food section. They used to not have a food section. Like I remember when I was growing up, it was basically just clothes and other sorts of gizmos and gadgets. But then they ended up getting kind of like a grocery store set up too. We have Safeway, we have Save on Foods, we have Sobeys, we have Superstore, lots of grocery stores. And these grocery stores are big. They have a lot of different types of foods in them, and increasingly these grocery stores are starting to adopt international food
Mm.
and organic food.
Mm.
So yeah, that's the food scene over here in Canada.
Okay. A few questions. So you mentioned about Regina has a lot of fast food chains. Is it like a big thing where you would go to a fast food place every day, like for every day?
I think you'd be pretty broke if you did that every day.
Really?
I
Okay.
think lots of people like getting coffee from like Tim Hortons every day,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think many people, at least not many people I know, go to eat fast food every day. I think
Really?
like if you want to be on the real unhealthy like
Mm.
kind of binge or like, eat unhealthily,
Mm-hmm.
then you'd be eating a lot of microwaved food. So increasingly there's like more and more freezer food where you kind of have like these pizza pockets and you put them in the freezer and you take them out when you're hungry. We also have canned food, of course. So if you're lazy and you don't want to cook, actually make a soup, you can just buy canned soup, put it in the pot, and then warm it up.
That's interesting because I heard a lot of stories in the States that people in a lower class, they kind of like stuck with fast food because it's cheap. It's something that they can afford. So what would happen is that these people go to these food chains every day to feed their family using fast food. Um, so it's kind of interesting to know that people don't actually do it in Regina. I would
Well, I
imagine
think
I would
I,
imagine. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I'm sure people do it, right? Like, there's always people who do any kind of thing, but from what I know, like, it's not a regular thing. I think fast food is pretty expensive now,
Mm,
even though it might not be as expensive as going to a restaurant. It's
mm,
still a hefty price. Like, even with coupons, you're paying like $7 for a burger or something
mm.
like that, which is
Okay, so how much would you pay for an average meal? Like, do you think about, the price tag on your meal every day?
well, it depends how rich I'm feeling usually. If I'm feeling like, like it's a good day, don't want to spend too much, but I
Mhm.
don't have to like go all thrifty,
Mhm.
then I probably warm up a soup
Mhm.
and then eat that.
Mhm.
If I feel like, going a bit more expensive,
Mhm.
then I might cook a sausage, or some other type of meat and then
Mm.
have it with mashed potatoes or something like that.
Mm.
And then if I feel like saving money,
Mm.
usually just making a sandwich.
Okay. So, so let's say you go to a restaurant. Like, how much are you paying averagely? Like, in average, like $10, 13,
Uh,
15.
of course, there's different types of restaurants. If you go to the higher end ones, you're
Mhm.
paying, uh, you know, probably $25, $30
Wow.
for a meal, but that's depending on like that's a really, really like high class restaurant.
Mhm.
If you go to a more kind of mid restaurant,
Uh
I'd
huh.
say around the $20 range.
Mhm.
And then if you're going to a restaurant where might not be as like well known or have a big reputation, $15. But I think that's kind of a rare thing, I'd say.
Mm.
I'd say you're usually paying around $20 for your meal at a restaurant.
Mm.
But you can find ways around that. Like, um, with your student card over here, you can get student discounts. So
Oh.
usually, if you'd buy two large pizzas, it would cost you at Domino's. It would probably cost you $23.
Mhm.
But if you bought them with your student card, you'd be only paying $13.
Wow.
That's quite a
That's
difference.
that's new. I didn't know that.
And
So,
and yeah, and that can feed you for like more than one meal too.
so not only I'm getting free stuff from the library, I'm also getting food discount.
Yes, yes. It's good to be a student at the U of R.
My God, how lucky I
Our
am.
podcast is becoming more of like a promotion for the U of R rather than us talking about things with like,
I'm literally like wearing
anyway,
the U of R T-shirt right
you know,
now.
you know what? I'm done being grilled with questions. It's time for me to ask you questions,
No,
Ethan.
but I still have
What
questions.
food do you like? What kind of food do you get in Vietnam?
Wait, well, before we go into that, I'm kind of curious. Like, what? One more question. I promise.
Sure, sure, sure. Ask
So
away, ask away.
how do you kind of like? What is the main component in your typical meals? Um, so in Asia, right, or in Vietnam, we would usually have like, or you've been to Japan, so I'm sure you know this. We would have rice, right? That's like the main carb that we usually have,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll have some sort of proteins, and then we'll have a
Mm-hmm.
side dish, whether it's fruit or maybe a salad or maybe like a pot, maybe like a bowl of soup. The soup is important. Um, we will always have it, and it's like a mandatory part of the meal. Like if you don't have it, the people will ask like, "Where's the soup?" So I'm kind of wondering, like, do you guys have that sort of stuff over there, or you just like, grab a sandwich and yep, that's my meal.
It really depends on people. Like some people, they don't even have like your regular 3 meals a day. They might skip a meal or they might like eat kind of like snacks throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think most like if you're looking for like generalities,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like cereal for breakfast
Mm-hmm.
and maybe porridge too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Porridge, huh?
some people like bread
Mm-hmm.
and bread with something like jam or peanut butter
Mm-hmm.
in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
For lunch, that really depends. Like, I'm trying to think if there's any staples that many people have lunch. Um, it's difficult.
Mm.
Like, if you're getting food from the cafeteria, you can definitely expect that one day you're going to be getting hamburgers for
Yeah,
your cafeteria meal,
I can.
and then another day you'll be getting hot dogs or
I
sausages,
can confirm that.
uh, hash browns maybe.
Uh-huh. I never had
But,
hash browns,
but
but okay.
yeah, like for some reason we like hash browns over here.
Mm.
If you go to a hotel and you're having a breakfast, they'll
Mm-hmm.
usually have hash browns.
Mm.
And then for supper, well,
Mm-hmm.
that varies on the family.
Mm.
We have a lot of, I'm guessing, just beef, pork, chicken. Those are the types of things people are interested in.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of people when I was growing up and at high school.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people liked bars, like they'd have granola bars
Mm.
or um, fruit bars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's hard to say.
Hmm. Okay.
When you're in elementary school, kids like Jello. At least when I was growing up. So you usually saw Jello,
Uh-huh.
but that's that's all I can think of for the staples.
Hmm. Well, do you have any question? Now you can ask me. I'm done with the questions.
Okay, I should think of a like really hard question to grill you on for revenge
For
for this.
revenge.
How long has it been in our podcast? Probably like a good 10 minutes of me just being grilled by you.
Grill.
What's a difficult question? Okay, so you say soup is a big staple in Vietnam.
Mm.
And my grandfather went to Vietnam, and he said that in the past
Mm-hmm.
they used to have these food carts, and they would have like beef broth or pork broth,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be some stuff in it.
Yep.
But then it's kind of like a little Subway where you can like they also have like other things to add in.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be like, hey, I want some soup. So then they'll get a bit of the broth,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll say, I want some carrots, I want some celery, and
Mm-hmm.
then they'll kind of have a spoon or something, and they'll put the carrots and celery into like the soup bowl, and then they'll give that to you.
Uh-huh.
Drink the soup, and then you give the bowl back.
Uh-huh.
Do they still have that kind of thing, or is that like
Well,
past?
I think that's the thing in the past now because
Oh,
I've never seen anything.
Vietnam is straying away from its roots. Huh?
Well, it's not like a lot of things has changed in terms of food items and what people think about food. But I actually haven't heard of that ever before. I don't think it's actually a thing. It's more like a situation thing where, oh, well, you go to a place and that's how they serve things. So I guess that's how it works. But yeah, I've never seen something like that. That's interesting though.
I was
How long was
I
it?
was very excited because like I was like it's like Subway but for soup. And that sounds like so cool. But I guess no, eh?
You think that's cool? I think that's kind of lame, to be honest.
I mean, it's like you're everything that's wrong with the new generation.
You
you
pick
think.
carrot and you pick potatoes in your soup. What's what's so cool about it?
Okay. So then why is Subway so big if, it's not cool to choose your own like items?
Well, I mean, Subway's not big here, so I think that's the reason why I think it's kind of lame.
So you guys don't like any decision in like your food. You're just like, I come here, I buy item, you choose what's in item. That's good for me.
Ironically, that's like the way how things run around here. That's why when I came to Canada, I was so shocked by the amount of options that you guys have. I remember going to this sandwich shop near the U of R. I think it was I don't there's a corner. There's a name for it. But anyway, this is a sandwich shop, and I walked in, right, and I see like so many options. You have the vegetable option, you have the type of bread that you want, your type of sauce, and the type of meat that you want in it. And it was so like for me, it was so confusing because
Overwhelming. Yeah.
overwhelming. Yeah, because I asked him like, oh I don't know, I'm just gonna have chicken, I guess. And then he asked me, he listed out like three kinds of chickens that I want. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, just pick one for me.
Poor Ethan. He never was like given agency in his life. He was always told what to do from the young age
You
of
know,
2,
you
and now he's finally, can decide what's in his sandwich, and it's just too much for him.
because you know it's totally different here. Like if you want a sandwich here or a French baguette with little fillings and stuff, um, you only have at least I think you only have like three options. Either it's eggs or meat or sausage, and everything else it's kind of like predetermined for you. You just say one of them, and they will make everything for you, and then you're good to go. They're not gonna bother
Sausage.
with like they're not gonna bother with like, oh, what kind of sauce do you want, or like, oh, what kind of vegetable do you want in it. They just put vegetable, and that's it. If you there you have it.
You're making me hungry. Sausage. Sounds tasty.
Sound tasty.
I was gonna say something very intelligent, but your stupid laughter got me off track. So now I have to think again.
Oh my god.
I should have found a better host. But oh, I know what I was gonna say. Yeah, over here, like we're starting to really like adopt vegan options. So even like hamburger places now have like Beyond the Meat, Beyond the, yeah, is it Beyond the Meat? Beyond something burgers. I forget. Apparently they taste really good though. They taste almost like identical to a normal hamburger.
That's cool.
I've tried some before
Uh-huh.
and I can't say that.
Mhm.
They're good.
Uh-huh.
They just don't taste like
The
the
real
actual thing.
the real thing, huh?
It's kind of like as if they were in like, let's pretend you've never seen a flower before, but you've like read a lot about flowers.
Uh-huh.
So you recreate a flower to the best of your like ability.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that,
Mm.
where I'm sure your flower would look really weird and like people would be like, "Is that really a flower?" And you'd be like, "But it's what they referenced in the books."
Is it like expensive to be a vegan? Because vegetables are expensive now. So
Yeah, like I don't think it's expensive. It's just it's it's a bit awkward because I think over here everything's so meat centric
mm-hmm.
that let's say you go to an event and they offer you lunch as part of the event. There's
Oh,
going to
hey.
be like a vegetarian option there,
Yep.
but it might not be the vegetarian option you necessarily want.
Right.
Like I don't know, maybe you don't like mushroom sandwich. Well, there's only mushroom sandwich there for you to eat, so
Mushroom.
that's kind of I think the hard part of it. And then again, you also like when you tell people you're like vegetarian,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you get these dumb answers like, yeah, I'd be totally vegetarian if I could like, forget the taste of meat, but it's just too good, man.
Do people say that?
I'm sure they get the same answers over and over again.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay, one question. Is it
oh, I tried to be vegetarian for a week, but I couldn't do it. I was just craving that. Chicken.
Chicken.
I love my chicken. If chicken was, a vegetable, I'd be totally fine with being vegetarian.
um,
So,
do,
Vietnam,
yeah, Vietnam. Hold on, my internet is having a hiccup.
food. What's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? Um,
Yeah.
okay, it's very hard to answer this question because most of the stuff that I like, it's actually more common in Canada than here. um, I like French
Maybe you're
toast,
meant to be over here.
maybe, but I like French toast a lot. It's just something that I just like, like. Is there any kind of food dish that you feel like you can comfortable having every day? Yeah, first item that I can think of, French toast or toast in
Mhm.
general. I love them. If I'm having toast and a little butter, maybe some garlic, maybe some seasoning on it, then that will be I will be fine with that, And with French toast, um, I got pretty good at making it, and it is something like I feel like I would have every day and be comfortable with it. So that's just me. I'm kind of weird when it comes to like food choices. That's
Hey, French toast is pretty good. I like
Yeah,
French toast.
yeah. But they're too sweet, like too much sugar for me. So I gotta be cautious because I would have them every day, and I would pour in a ton of sugar, and apparently that's very bad for you. So I've been trying to cut that down a little bit. Yeah. Well, second item I think is okay. So I guess I'm just gonna start saying food items in Vietnamese now. So I like pho a whole lot. Pho is like it's like Japanese noodle, but we have a very special kind of noodle, and the broth is made in a very special way. Usually, it involves cooking a bunch of bones for like 10 hours, and then you have the broth, and you make that broth with seasoning, and then you put in the special noodle. You have little slices of thin slices of beef, and there you go, a bowl of pho, and I like it. It's a staple here for a lot of people. It's been
Mm.
around for like I don't know a few hundred years or so, um, and I think it's something that is well known for a lot of people. Like if you go to Vietnam, hey, let's try out pho, let's try out banh mi and stuff. So yeah, that's it's easy for me to pick. It's stable and it's everywhere, and it's delicious. So there's that. Um, and then another thing I like is that I like salad. I like green, healthy stuff. Um, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to go through a day without any kind of vegetable. Um, I thought about going vegan, or at least not not
Okay.
not entirely vegan. It's just that financially, it's not suitable for me because vegetables here are very expensive, and a substitute for meat is also uncommon and very expensive as well. So I tend to um, substitute meat by having a lot of eggs and try to get as much as vegetable that I can. So yeah, vegetable, salad, soup, whatever. That's usually the stuff that I like. Well, here's the thing. This question is very hard for me because viewers, and you also, Jock, you should know that I live very close to this line called poverty. Uh,
Yes.
there's a very dedicated
Maybe he
line.
likes all these French toast and salad for another reason instead of just taste. Maybe it's the best options he can get for the little cash he has.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I like them, but most of the time I don't have a choice. Usually I will go with anything that I have on hand, and usually that's okay. I I don't hate any certain food item. I just be okay with it. So yeah,
Mm.
tough question. I hate you.
There was a setup from the beginning.
So anyway, what about you? I mean, I'm kind of interested in asking you that question because you're half English and half Japanese, so I'm guessing that your
Hmm.
family you would have like a very wide variety of dishes that you can try out, both from your mom and your dad. So what's the stuff that you like?
Um, like most people, what I like has changed as I grow up.
Hmm.
I used to love hot dogs when I was really little, and then uh, I grew into liking sausages.
Mm.
Um, and now I'm starting to like ham and other types of meat like ham because it's cheap. Well,
Hmm.
it's not cheap, but it comes in bulk,
Hmm.
so you can store it in the fridge, and like it's very easy to just go to the fridge, cut a piece of ham, eat the ham, and then like carry on with your day. So, like you, maybe I'm starting to think of like not just like money, but also time
Time,
as a
yeah.
factor for like my favorite foods.
Hmm.
Um, in Japan, I really liked ramen.
Of course, yeah.
And unfortunately, the ramen scene here is kind of lacking.
Mm.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Um, what is also kind of surprising is you'd think like the area I live is very flat,
Hmm.
and there's lots of farms and cows and like other farm animals.
Uh huh.
So you'd think like meat would be pretty cheap and like really like
Available, yeah.
tasty.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've tried meat like in Ottawa and other regions of Canada,
Uh huh.
and it seems like just the same as over here. So
Mm.
the only thing that I could say like that was unique with Saskatchewan was for some reason our fish was pretty cheap. Like
Really?
you'd go to Ottawa, you buy fish, and it
Hmm.
would be like $10 and you get like this tiny sliver of fish.
Hmm.
And like $10 here would be like let's say three times that.
Wow.
But now fish too is expensive, which
Of
really makes
course.
me sad because my favorite fish is salmon,
Uh huh.
and salmon's just so expensive. And I used to be so happy to just like buy, $10 and I'd get like a good amount of salmon that would last me probably two meals.
Hmm.
But now it's like if I want to spend $10 for one meal's worth of salmon, it's
Hmm.
just not worth it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there
Inflation,
used
yeah.
to Yeah, it's inflation. It's inflation. Um, but one thing that was kind of cool here was the government actually gave us like $500
Oh yeah,
just because,
the Mobucks.
yeah, yeah, because the gasoline, they were selling so much gasoline and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So,
Hmm.
um, it's not the worst place to live in the world, but it's not particularly spectacular either. Like the scenery is good. Like the sky is very beautiful during wintertime and summertime,
Hmm.
but it's not like we have any mountains or giant rivers we can just go hang out and look at.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Um, I'm kind of curious
sad,
about
sad.
the Mobucks thing. But I'm hoping that it's not too sidetracked. But so what was the reason why that they wanted to give everyone $500 to combat inflation or like to
If you
combat?
told like if you told me that you wanted to talk about this, I would have brought out the letter that they gave. So they gave us a check and they
Uh-huh.
gave us a letter.
Uh-huh.
And the letter explained that they were doing so well financially that they decided to give everyone $500. Now, this was kind of close to like the election, so that might, well, like not that close, but I mean like close enough where it was like, yeah, this is kind of a bit of a bribe here, but was still very nice of them. And they mentioned in the letter too that they were it wasn't just like they were giving people money and they weren't like using the money to for better infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Like apparently they're putting money into the infrastructure too, but even with that,
Mm-hmm.
they still had enough money to give to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a lot of money, $500 per person. And this is not just like, oh, our residency in Canada too got $500. So literally everyone got it, which is really nice. But that's about it. That's as much information as I can give you on it.
Hmm. That's yeah. Well, I heard of it, and the first question in my mind is that how do you like what are you trying to get out of this, right? Because you're giving everyone $500, but it's not like everyone needs $500, right? Um, um, there's certain people out there
You
who
know, then when you get 500 bucks, $500, are you gonna question it, or are you gonna be like, oh, thank you? Like,
I guess that's fair.
uh,
Um,
there probably was ulterior motives,
mhm,
but at the same time, it's $500. Like,
I
it's
guess.
free. Like, it's not like we had to do anything.
All right. Um, okay, getting back to the topic on food. Um, but
Okay, okay.
I have to let you know that my internet is so bad right now. Like I'm pretty sure that a part of your answer it got
Do we do a shorter episode then, and then kind of do a spicy one? We might have a guest next episode,
sure,
depending if they're free or not.
sure.
So
Um,
that's probably going to be a longer episode.
mm-hmm. Well, I'll just keep going. That's okay. I can just cut out the stuff that you know affected. But
Sure,
anyway,
sure.
um,
How about if we talk about our channel? Our channel's looking pretty good, eh? 9 subscribers last I
nine,
checked. 2 videos. Two,
nine,
2 videos or 3 videos? I
two. There's
forget how
only
many
two
videos.
episodes.
Two, yes, two. This is our third one.
Uh-huh.
A few comments,
A few
which is
comments,
good.
really?
Through email.
Oh, right. The email.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not a comment, but still.
Hey, that's a comment. What do you mean that's not a comment?
It's an email.
You,
Well, you-
okay, like look, if you did disable the comments from our first episode, we might actually have comments. But
Might.
because you decided, oh, I don't want hateful comments, I don't want to get my feelings down. Like we don't have any comments on that, like our on the actual page, so they have to go through our email. Like, you know, we decided to put this thing online. You can't just be like all picky and stuff now. Anyway, no worries, no worries. Water under the bridge. You can pay me back with a sub when you get over
Sure, buddy.
it.
Sure. But I still want to talk about food a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still on the food topic. I was thinking about our YouTube channel. I'm like, wow, it's really popping. We got 9 subscribers. I subscribed to it like 5 years ago. I was like, I probably should subscribe to our own YouTube channel.
See, that's why I don't feel anything when I get like, oh yeah, you got a new subscriber. Um, it's not that we're getting a lot of traffic, but that's okay. We're not doing it because of the
We
traffic.
never did this to be famous. We
Yeah.
just did this because we're dumb and we're like, well, let's waste
Have
our
a lot
time
of
with
free
a
time.
podcast.
But so food inflation, you were talking about it a little bit and how salmon prices went up. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of curious, like how did that affect you? Like, could you feel the inflation affecting your lifestyle, beside
I
from the
think
salmon?
you can definitely feel it. You definitely hear about it a lot. All
Mhm.
these people complaining about how expensive things are.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just sucks. But what I'm really sad about is the 2 banks failing because that means my investments tanked. I put a
Okay.
lot of money into the bank, and I'm guessing it's not doing well. I'm already in the negative after COVID, so I'm probably going to be even more in the negative after this. So
Wow.
that's my concerns when it comes to financial things. But
Okay. Was that?
inflation, it's definitely there,
Mhm.
especially with food,
Mhm.
but it's not terrible. Like it's not like you can make buy. It's just you have to make smarter choices now.
Mm.
You have to get by. I should.
Mm-hmm. Do you still have like a lot of meat on your meals, and you have to think about every time you get a pack of lettuce or something? Does that happen?
No, no,
It's
that's
big.
not really the change. The big change is like I used to buy a chocolate bar,
Now I just
and now no more
chocolate
chocolate
bar.
bars for me. And I used to like to get de-alcoholized beer, and now no more de-alcoholized beer for me. It's such hardship. Do you know like the alcoholized wine and beer is like so much cheaper than like wine and beer with alcohol?
Really?
It's like night and day. You can get like a full bottle of de-alcoholized wine for like
Mm-hmm.
$6,
Mm-hmm.
but with like taxes, it's probably closer to seven.
Mm-hmm.
That's also on sale too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but still, $6. That's like a steal. You go to the liquor store, it's like $20.
Well, because it's certainly a thing here.
Hmm.
The whole
Have you ever
if
tried it? Have you ever
wait,
tried de-alkalized
I have never,
drinks?
never. We don't have that here. We don't even have decaf coffee, for that matter.
Oh.
So yeah, that's like one of the things I miss the most when returning from Canada to Hanoi is that I used to drink a lot of decaf. I like coffee, but I can't
Mhm.
have normal coffee because of my condition with my stomach and stuff. Um, and when
Stomach ulcers?
GERD actually.
Hmm.
So yeah, we don't have that here, and we certainly don't have the alcoholized beverage and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, about the vegetable stuff and
Mhm.
grocery prices, you can definitely feel it here. Like it hits you in the face. You used to be able to buy so much vegetable with just I don't know $5. Like that's that
Mhm.
like with $5, you can get like enough vegetable to last you a week, right?
Mhm.
But now it's like a bag of lettuce right now is so expensive that it's not enough, and you have to make choices, and sometimes very difficult choices. For me, that would be like, oh, do I want to have chicken tonight, or like, do I want to have vegetable tonight? Because things are things are pretty rough
Right,
here.
like that. Do I want chicken or veggie? Shall I get an apple or a chicken?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you can have canned foods here, but then canned foods are not that cheaper compared to the real stuff.
How
So
about instant noodles?
yeah, well, instant noodles are out there. They are getting more and more expensive too. Usually that would be like, oh, I'm a student. I'm gonna grab some instant noodle to save money, right? But now they're so expensive that that's not the option anymore. Usually it's like $1 a pack now. It used to be like 20 cents that you can get a pack of
Mhm.
noodles. Um, but now it's just so expensive, and um, so yeah, it certainly make life harder for me. And that's like something that
Mhm.
I'm scared about when moving to Regina. Um, well, not
Yeah.
moving, not moving, but studying in Regina for quite some time, because I don't wanna, struggle. I mean, I'm already struggling, but if I go to Regina and I'm struggling, then wouldn't know what to do. And I was
Ah,
like,
you'll get by. You'll get by. Ever so often they have like 30% off stickers on food. It tastes awful. The
really?
wedge
It
is
tastes,
rock hard.
uh
No, it doesn't taste that
huh,
awful unless you leave it for like an extra day or two.
uh huh,
But if you eat it when you buy it, it's totally fine.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
Um,
I like to survive off of cookies. So you get like a giant pack of cookies, 30% off.
30%.
I think it's like $4, maybe $3. And yeah, you'll live off of cookies while you're over here. I'm telling you, it's a great way of surviving.
It's pretty sad and funny at the same time that our food prices are kind of similar to the ones that in Canada, and we're like
Hmm.
the third world country. Our salary is not that high, People only make
Don't
like
say third world country. Maybe second world country.
maybe developing countries. How about that? Um,
Sure, sure.
yeah, but for some bananas, we're paying for like $2 for just like a
Wow,
pack of
that's a lot of money.
yeah, that's a lot of money for bananas. And I'm like, what in the world? Why are you paying $2 for essentially a pack of bananas? It's not even like the whole full. What was the word for that? I
Uh,
forgot the word, but anyway, it's a pack of bananas. It was only 5 or 6 of them. $2.
mhm.
Like I couldn't believe it. Um, so yeah, I was also thinking about maybe relying on Regina food banks. I went there and apparently there's an option.
I guess yeah, they don't question. Like, there's no like they'll accept anyone, right? You could be even well off and you can get food from a China food bank. But like your pride will be forever.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Wow. Okay, you can.
No, seriously.
If that, if things are really rough, yeah, I guess you can go to the food bank.
Hmm. So yeah.
But I might have to cut you off as a
What do you?
friend.
I'm sorry for making a stain on your personal life by
Black splotch on my.
um
That's pretty. Like, if you don't have money, sure, yeah, that like no judgment here. Money from a scholarship?
well, it's not like it's much of it. Like it's not like I'm gonna be swimming in cash. I still have to
Okay,
pay
okay.
for
Yeah, yeah. I
insurance.
understand.
Yeah, and
Just,
rent.
I just wasn't expecting it at all when you said, "Oh yeah." Maybe we should describe what the food bank is because I don't know if everywhere, like according to the people there, not not every country has a food bank.
Yep, we don't have that here.
I know it's
So,
kind of self-explanatory just from the name, but
yep.
even so.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
essentially, food bank is a place. So it's like a bank, right? But instead of cash, you go there and store your cash, and then you withdraw it. It's food. So essentially, it all comes down to that. You make donation to the food bank. They store the food, and it's like a reserve of food for whoever that needs it, or in case of an emergency in the city or something like that, and they need available food on hand. Then yeah, that's basically what they do. It's non-profit, right? Of course, it's
A
non-profit.
non-profit.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, Regina Food Bank, great place. Been there.
Okay, okay. That was a terrible explanation, Ethan. I'm jumping in. Okay, so the Regina Food Bank. I can't believe this. We got the same lecture, and and you're like top five student at your university, and you
It's
still
been like
can't.
6 years.
I'm
I don't
so
wait. No, this is a
frustrated.
year, 6 months.
It's the same amount of time for me too, and I can give a better explanation now.
Okay,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
Regina Food Bank is like there's a giant storage area. It's kind of like a factory,
Mhm.
but it's just storage, and they store a whole bunch of food there.
Mhm.
And all the grocery stores in the city
Mhm.
have basically a deal with the food bank where they'll have these packages that people can buy while they're buying groceries. They're usually $10,
Mhm.
and these packages will be donated to the food bank in
Mhm.
order to feed people in need.
Mhm.
There's also other ways that the food bank gets food, but the packages and also big companies are the main source of this food. Also, let's say there's a truckload of food and something happens. Let's say this truck has frozen food, and there's this moment where the kind of the air conditioner or whatever the thing that freezes the food malfunctions,
Mhm.
and they fix it, but they're unsure about the food. They'll donate it to the food bank. So the food bank basically gets a whole bunch of uh, food from many different sources. Primarily, one of them is the grocery stores. Also, when food expires, the grocery stores give food to the food bank. So you're kind of imagining in your head this giant factory full of food, and naturally they're going to be distributing this food to people in need. Now, how do they establish who to give the food to? Well, it's pretty simple. No matter who you are, no matter what your circumstance is, you can go to the food bank and request food from them, and they'll give it to you without doing any background checks whatsoever. The catch is you can only do it once a week. So they'll give you a whole bunch of food, but that food is meant to last the whole week.
Mm.
And you can't go back until that week's over. So that's how they manage it so that, people don't abuse the system.
Mm.
And there's a whole bunch of workers in the factory, and they do two systems. So either you can drive up to the food bank
Mm-hmm.
and then pick up your food,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll deliver the food to you. And yeah, that's the Regina Food Bank.
Well, I don't see my explanation was that bad. It just skipped out a lot of
Wow.
details.
Yeah, much needed details, I think. But you basically said, yeah, they give food to the people who need food.
Well,
That's
yeah,
my explanation.
that's not wrong. That's what they do,
Yeah,
right?
it's not wrong. It's just like, sure, like, that's, you can tell that from the name. Like,
What? Okay, okay, but yeah,
okay,
thanks, Jock,
okay, I
for
might have been too harsh on you. I'll pull it back.
yeah, thanks, Jock, for a very detailed explanation on food bank. It's actually, I would argue that's probably like the coolest place that we visited in the program. Um, you know, because here, well, I mean, not the coolest, one of the coolest, um, because here we don't have that sort of service. Um, and there's a lot of people, well, not a whole lot. I would say there are quite a lot of people who would benefit that sort of system here, but for some reason we just don't have that here, and you see food go to waste a lot here, and it's not like we're like a well-off country where there's plenty of food or and produce that is extra. But if you go to the supermarket, you see items on the shelf go expire and then go straight to the trash. Then it's we don't have that. So when I went to the Regina Food Bank, it's really amazing seeing how you guys are handle the problem of people are not getting enough food, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And the people who work there were really nice too. I mean, most of them are just
Hmm.
volunteers,
Yep.
but they are dedicating their time and trying to support the community. I think that's very awesome. And if you're in
Oh yeah.
Regina, for some reason, if there's anyone listening in Regina, please make donation. They need it always. That will help out a lot. I doubt anyone listening is from Regina, but just in case.
Oh, well, you
Yeah,
never know. You never
yeah,
know.
yeah. But anyway, um, what?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think we've tackled all the different aspects of food. That was a very interesting point, Ethan. I've just noticed our podcast is getting a little long. I think we're at the 1 hour mark, which is kind of where we're aiming for things to be today. Next time, we might have a guest on. He's one of my friends. He's from Regina, and he's actually in the same program as me. If you
His
don't know, I'm studying English, so he's also a fellow English student. And Ethan, you're studying kind of an English domain too, right? Teaching
exactly.
English,
Yep.
so
Actually, it's translating, but yeah.
translating, teaching English, kind
Mm.
of the same thing.
Wait, what about Hakan? I thought you were gonna talk about Hakan, but okay.
uh, Hakan, I think, is going to be maybe 2 weeks from now or something like that. I
Okay.
think Hakan's still busy. So
Okay. So
the
new
guy I'm
guest,
talking about is Braden, but we'll see
Braden.
if he's. It depends if he's free.
Mm.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him, and I think he'll be free. But we'll see. We'll see.
All
So that's
right.
going to be an exciting episode.
Mm-hmm.
The guy on is a kind of psychology dude, so he's pretty knowledgeable about how people think, and I think he's eventually planning on starting his own clinic. So we can
That's
talk a little bit about that with him.
that's cool. That's cool. I'm excited. Very excited. Yeah, I guess we should wrap this up. It's been a nice
Yep, yep.
conversation between me and Jacques, and I think I'm gonna stop now, so Jacques can go and grab his stupid super or something.
Yeah, so I can eat after all this nice long discussion.
About sandwiches
Um,
and food
yeah,
banks.
I hope everyone in the audience also has a nice meal. I don't know if you're eating lunch, supper, or even breakfast, but have a nice meal and see you next time.